Good evening, everybody. Are you ready to start the lesson now? Okay, so today I'm very happy to have a lectures on on reading. So first, I would like to introduce you the content of the lecture today. So in the lecture today, our Vclass 2, I'd like to give you some comments on how to deal with some kinds of exercises. The first one, some tips on dealing with unfamiliar words. Second one, how to fill the gaps. And the third one, how to find unstated detail. Next one, making inferences and drawing conclusions. And the next one, which is true, false, or not given. Okay, so now let's start with the first part of the lecture today, how to deal with unfamiliar words. So first, I would like you to identify the questions, to identify what kinds of exercises we are going to deal with. So for unfamiliar words, there are some common questions here. For example, what is A, B, or C, right? Or what is the meaning of, or what is truth about? There are three questions, three very common questions for dealing with unfamiliar words. So what about the way we can find the clues in order to find the meaning of the words? You can, based on the punctuation, commas, parentheses, or even the dash. The next one, you can base on the restatement, or that is, in other words, etc. And the next clue you can base on, it is example, for example, such as, for example, and the questions that come into the mind of many students when they are doing reading comprehension, where they can find the words, the meaning of the words. Alright, so you see that the information that help you understand or determine what something means, or what is the meanings of the word here, will generally be found after the punctuation clue, the restatement clue, or the example clue. So let's follow 4 different steps here when you deal with unfamiliar words exercise. First one, I'd like you to find the word in the passage. It is in the first, in the second, or in the third paragraph. Next one, locate any structural clues. The third one, read the part of the passages after the structural clues very carefully. What for? So after that we can find the answer to the question. So remember that the step 4 here, eliminate any definitely wrong answers and choose the best one from the remaining choices. Okay, it is the theory. So now let's practice, apply the theory with our practice. Okay, so for the first step, I already have you find the words here. Just underline and put them in bold letter. It is easier for you to see. So before you read, you do the exercise. In the exercise here, I'd like you to skim the text to find what it is about. Okay, so now I'd like you to look at the list of the questions here. Is it okay? So move on to the next 3 questions. Okay, so now I'd like you to come back to the question number 1 again. So what is the main topic of the passage today? So whenever you have the answer to the questions, please let me know. Okay, so the next slide, please. Alright, so I hope that you just get your own answer. Now, look at the screen here and compare the answer here. For the first questions, what is the main topic of the passage? So you see where we can find the main idea of a passage based on the first or the last paragraph. The first one, I mean that it is the introductory paragraph. And in the introductory paragraph, as in the previous lesson, I already told you, you can find the thesis statement that tells us the main idea of the whole passage. Is that right? So what is the main topic of the passage today? The answer here is A. Why is it A? Because you can base on the clues here. Although the weather, gravity, and clouds are all mentioned, the passage primarily discusses how raindrops behave and why they fall. So the answer here must be A. It is about the mechanics of rains, right? Come on, with number 2. What the word means in paragraph 1 is closest meaning with which of the following one? Second, tiny, slow, or steady? The answer here is tiny. Why? Because the author mentions small size several times. So, minute here means tiny or small. So B is correct answer. Next one. What about the word motion? Motion in paragraph 1 is closest meaning to wind, change, movement, or immediately. So the answer here is movement, because you can base on the keyword here, move and live, to show the movement. And the next the next question, ice crystals do not immediately fall to the earth because, first one, they are kept aloft by the air currents, or they combine with other chemicals into the atmosphere, or most of them evaporate, or their electrical charges draw them away from the earth. So the answer here is A. They are kept aloft by the air currents. The reason why A is correct answer, you see, the passage discusses the effect of air currents on the water droplets. So A is our correct answer for number 4. Move on to the next one. Question number 5. What about the meaning of the word random in paragraph 2? The random in this one, it means unpredictable. So why is unpredictable closest in meaning to the word random. Look at the sentence here, the clue here. Moving about chaotically without fixed direction. Right? So you see unpredictable here without fixed prediction. So we can find the meaning of the word random here means unpredictable, not in fixed direction. Right? Next one. What about number 6? What can be inferred about the drops of water larger than 0.008 inch in diameter? They never occur. They are not affected by the force of gravity, or they are thin in thin air. They would fall to earth. And the last one, in moving air, they fall at a speed of 32 miles per hour. So the answer to question number 6 here is C. So you can see the clue next to that. Alright. Come on. With question number 7. How much bigger is a raindrop than a cloud and droplet? 200 times bigger, 1,000 times bigger, 100,000 times bigger, 1,000,000 times bigger. So the answer is 1,000,000 times bigger. Why? Because you can base on the evidence here. The average raindrop contains 1,000,000 times as much. 1,000,000 can also be written as, right? So the answer here is 1,000,000 times bigger. Next one, number 8. In the passage, what does the term coalescence refer to? The answer here is it refers to the growth of the droplet. Why? Because you can base on the clues here. The growth of a cloud droplet, and this important growth indicates that the coalescence here refers to the growth, and the answer here must be the growth of droplets. Is that clear to you? Okay, so that is the explanation to the question number in exercise 1. Do we have any questions for our exercise 1? Alright, so if not, move on to the next one. Our exercise 2. Please read the text and circle the best answers. It's also about how to deal with unfamiliar words. So we have 4 different words suggested. That unfamiliar or new words for you. Teddy bear, pastimes, educated, or cartoon. So skim the text to find what it is about. Okay. So here is a question for our exercise 2. right? You can follow the suggested step and I'm just giving you at the beginning of our lecture. Okay, well done. Now, so compare your answer. Please look at number 1 here. According to the passage, what is the word teddy bear? What is a teddy bear? So teddy bear is a plaything. Why is it a plaything? Just come back to here and just give you the clue here. Teddy bear. The teddy bear is a child toy. Is a child toy. So a child toy here must be a plaything. So the answer, so the answer for number 1 here is plaything. Number 2, the word pastime. The word pastime, what is it? It is things that occurred in the past, previous job, or hunting trip, or the leisure activities. Of course, it is leisure activity. Why? So look at this one. He means Teddy, alright? He was an unusually active man with a varied pastime, one of which was hunting. So one of the pastime here is hunting. So the answer here is leisure activities. Next one, number 3. The word extricated. What does it mean? Released, tied up, hunted, or shot? The answer here is released. Why is it released? And what about the clue in our text here? Here, the last sentence of the second paragraph here. Teddy, who really wanted to actually hunt, refused to shoot the bear, and in fact he demanded that the bear be extricated. So from the rope, that is, so as I just mentioned, after that is here, the writer explained the meaning of the words. He demanded that the bear be set free. So be set free here, the same meaning with to be released. So the answer to the question here is A, release. Next one, cartoon. So what about cartoon? Cartoon could be best described as a newspaper, a type of teddy bear drawing a word message, or newspaper article. So the final answer is drawing with a message. So I would like to show you the clue for that. So first, a cartoon drawn by Clifford Berryman to make fun of this situation appeared in Washington Post, and the cartoon was widely distributed and reprinted throughout the country. So what is it? It is drawing with a message, right? So I hope that the explanation and the tips on how to deal with unfamiliar word here would be very useful for you. Do you have any question for the first one? The tips on dealing with unfamiliar words? Okay, so if not, we move on to the next one. Our second main part of the lesson today, it is how to deal with the gap filling exercise. So for the gap filling exercise, firstly, I'd like you to skim the text word for to find the main idea. Next one, read the sentence with the missing word carefully. First one, decide part of speech of the word you need to fill in the blank. Third one, look at suggested answer and choose the best one. So here are 4 different steps you should bear in your mind when you do gap filling exercise. So now, I'd like you to look at exercise 3 here. Read the information about Tom Cruise. So I hope that I'm sure that you ever heard about him, right? Very famous actor. Read the information about Tom Cruise and help me find the best answer to fill in each blank here. So I will give you 30 seconds to finish that. Okay, have you finished that? Yes, that's good. Now, please look at the screen here. What about question number 1? Tom Cruise is one of the successful actors in the cinema history. So this one, the definite article follow that adjective. So what do you think about this one? You know that it is a superlative, right? So the answer here is most. Why? Because successful is long adjective. So the superlative form for that must be the most successful one. Okay, so number 1, A. What about number 2? Tom was shy and had in finding friends. So had here is a verb. So after that must be a noun. So missing word must be a noun. Oh, look at the suggested answer here. Worry, problem, fear, and difficult, they are all nouns. So now we have to think about the structure. The structure and the meaning of the words would be most suitable to fill in the gap number 2 here. So what do you think about worry? Is it worry about? Problem in? No, it's not correct one. Fear in? No. So the structure here have difficulty in doing something. So D is the correct answer for number 2. What about number 3? Although he really enjoyed part in school plays. So after enjoys is verbing, alright? But which word? Here is the phrasal verb. Which word go with part in? It means joy. It means take part in, to join the school play. So the answer here is C. Come on with number 4. He had finished high school. Tom went to New York to look for work. So what happened? So he had to finish his school before he went to New York to look for the work. So the answer here is after. Number 5. He found employment as porter and at the same time he drama classes. So when we talk about classes here, he is subject. The missing one here is a verb. Right. So for the classes, we only say that attend the class. We do not say prepare. Prepare must be followed by a preposition here, waited for, right? Happen. No, we do not say happen. Drama class. Attend the drama classes. So number 5, the answer here is C. What about number 6? In 1980, the film director Franco is the subject of the sentence. Alright, so what is it? The missing one here is a verb. All the suggested answer here is the verb. Which one is the most suitable one? Offer, right? So offer somebody something. Offer Tom his first part in a film. Number 7. 10 years later, he had become successful that. What is it? Right. So look at the suggested answer here. So, such, to, very. We do not say that become very successful that. So, successful that. So here followed by adjective. Such followed by a noun. Right? So the answer here is so. Number 8. Alright, so come on to number 7 here. He became so successful that he was one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood. Right? So, who earned millions of dollars, right? So, earning millions of dollars for each film. So number 9, the answer here is H. Or in some here must follow by a plural noun and another. So another film here, not suitable meaning here. So the answer here is C, H. Number 10. Yeah. Tom today. Tom appears. Tom appear is okay. So what? Already appears? No. Ever appear? No. Seen. His scene appears in film and is a popular. Is as popular as, right? With his thousands of fans from all over the world. Okay. So any question for exercise 3? So you don't have any question here. We move on to the next one. Section 3. Finding unstated details. I would like to give you some tips on dealing with this type exercise. The first one, before you do the exercise, just identify what kinds of exercises you are going to do. Now look at the questions here. Here is some common questions for finding unstated detail. Which of the following is not stated? So unstated here, not stated. Which of the following is not mentioned? Which one is not discussed? So discussed here means double S E D. Alright, this is a wrong spelling mistake. It is spelling mistake. And the first question here, also very common one. All of the following are true except. Alright. And the next one, where can you find the answer to unstated detail? So of course, they are in the passage. And put in your mind that all the answer to unstated details here must be in order, the order of our passage, reading passage. What about the step or the suggested step? You can find the answer to this question. First one, I would like you to read the question and find the keywords in the question. What are the keywords? The keywords here often nouns, verb, adjective, adverb. Alright, they are key. Second one, scan the appropriate place in the passage for the keyword or for the related idea. Third one, read the sentence that contains the keywords or the idea carefully. The fourth one, look for the answers that are definitely true according to the passage, and then eliminate those answers because we are finding unstated statement, alright? And finally, choose the answer that is not true or not discussed in the reading passage. So please follow 5 different steps when you deal with this kind of exercise. Alright, is the theory clear to you? If yes, move on to the next one here. Exercise 4. Now, I'd like you to look at the exercise 4. Just only 2 questions for that. Skim to find what it is about. Okay, are you ready? Now please look at the text here. For question number 1, all of the following are true about plasma except what? It is deeply colored liquid. Blood cells have been taken out of it. Our patients are often transfused with it. Or it is generally more important to the patient than other parts of the whole blood. So the answer to question number 1 is it is deeply colored liquid. Why it is not true? Look at this one. Here is a keyword. Blood plasma is clear, almost colorless liquid. And in the exercise, it is colored liquid, so it's not true. 1 out, the first one out. What about number 2? Which of the following is not stated about the whole blood? The answer here is, it is clear, colorless liquid. Why? You can see that here the plasma differs in several important ways from the whole blood. That differs in different way. First of all, plasma can mix with all donors and does not have to be from the right blood group, as the whole blood does. In addition, the plasma can be dry stored, while the whole blood cannot. Okay, so the answer here. Next one, I would like you to look at the exercise 5 here. So the suggested answer to this question are clear. So I have you. So I would like you to follow the 5 steps I have just suggested. And here is the final suggested answer. She worked as a doctor in mental hospital. She worked as a doctor in mental hospital. So read the text about Elizabeth Seaman, one of the American journalists. Have you got the answer yet? Okay. Now, let's see. Question number 1. Which of the following is not true about Nellie Bly? It's not true. B. Nellie Bly was mentally ill. So why it is not true? Because you can base on the clue here. On another occasion, she faked the mental illness in order to be admitted to the mental hospital. Right? So 1B. What about number 2? Which of the following is not mentioned as something that Nellie Bly did to get a good story? Not mentioned, right? She worked as a doctor in a mental hospital. She didn't work in mental hospital. You see, she faked the mental illness. She pretended to be a mental patient in order to be admitted to a mental hospital. What for? To get a real picture on the treatment of the mental patient. Okay, so the answer to question number 2 here is D. So is that clear to you? So if there's something not so clear to you, do not hesitate to ask. Now, move on to the next one. Section 4 of the lesson today, making inferences and drawing conclusion. You see that here is some common questions for this type of exercise. It is implied that inferences here, it means that the writer does not mention something directly from the reading. Okay, so we call it imply or inference. Next one, it can be inferred from the passage that, or it is most likely that, or what probably happened. So where you can find the answer, please, the answer to the question, of course, are found in the order of the reading passage. So in order to find the answer here, if you want to find the answer, just follow my 4 suggested steps here. First one, I'd like you to choose the keyword in the questions. Read, underline the keyword. Next one, scan the passage for the keyword. Carefully read the sentence that contain the keywords and then look for the answer. Could be true according to the text. Alright? Now, just practice applying our theory to do exercise 6 here. So the letter a little bit small, but I hope that you can see that clearly. Okay? Now, please look at the first question here. It is implied in the passage that. What does the passage imply? The leaves of neither type of cheese in the passage turn brown in the winter. Why? Why don't they turn brown in the winter? Because you can base on the keywords here. Both evergreen conifers. So evergreen is another color, not brown. The answer here is D. Number 2. It can be inferred from the passage that Sierra are a mountain range. Why is it mountain range? Because you see that the evidence here from the text here, the western slope of the Sierra Nevadas. So actually it is a mountain range. What about number 3? Which of the following is implied in the passage? It is the second one. The California redwood is not as big around as the giant sequoia. Look at the clue here. The giant sequoia is nonetheless the largest and the most massive of the living things. So the answer to question number 3 here is number 2, right? Is that clear to you? Do you have any question for that, for our exercise 6? Okay, so if not, move on to the next one here. The final part of our lecture today, how to deal with true, false, or not given exercise. You should bear in your mind that true or yes, alright, it means that the writer holds the same opinion. and false or no, it means that he has contrasting idea or opposite, meaning opposite idea. Not given, of course, he doesn't say anything about this at all. Okay? And before you do the exercise here, I just remind you that for the true statement here, sometimes you cannot find the original word that is available in our reading exercise. The writer that try to paraphrase the words, paraphrase the sentence, or try to explain that in another way, or he uses synonym. I mean that the synonym, that the words that has the same meaning. Alright, so you should care about that. And here is the exercise about true, false, or not given. I'd like you to skim the text. It is about music or it is about language. Okay, so the questions, here are the questions for our exercise 7. Four questions for that. So whenever you decide that they are true, false, or not given, just think about the clue that have you find the answer to these questions. Are you ready? Yes? Look at the first question here. Music needs words in order to become truly effective means of communication. It is false. Why is it false? Because in the text the writer says that when allied with speech in a song, it is one of the most powerful means of communication. Alright? So it doesn't mean that music needs words in order to become truly effective means of communication. So A, false. What about B? The scientists are still looking for a way to show that the brain processes music and language separately. It also false because such a separate mechanism does indeed exist. Next one, C. Paul attempted to distinguish the processing mechanism of music and language. Sorry. So you see that there's no information in the text about that. So that's the reason why C is not given. What about D? The work of Proctor and Wernicke mark the beginning of the research into the brain and its role in production of the language. This is true. And here is the clue I have just taken from the reading that help you answer the question D is true. Okay, so do you have any question for our exercise 7? No? Alright, so exercise 7. This is the last exercise we have to deal with today. Do you have any questions for our lecture today? Okay, so if not, thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye and have a nice evening.